I'd like to welcome a celebrated pannist from St. Lucia, a composer and arranger, leader of the 2024 Panorama Champion Courts Babonneau
Steel.
Steel Orchestra, Mr. Allison Marquis. Allison, how are you feeling?
I'm okay, not bad, thanks.
That's good. That's good. Thanks for coming in and doing this interview. So, first of all, I'd like to congratulate you on your eighth Panorama Championship. That's quite an accomplishment.
Thank you very much.
So, without giving away your secret, what's the formula for a successful Panama arrangement and performance like you consistently do?
In a nutshell, it's variations on the song that you chose to work with. Variations. The challenge is put your variations down without losing the audience.
Yeah,
In a sense, I mean, that's the basic thing, and then it's a
yeah,
matter of how creative you are with your arrangement.
yeah,
Yeah, in a nutshell, that's what it is.
yeah. And now, I assume the panorama in St. Lucia follows pretty much the formula that's used in Trinidad and Tobago. Is that correct? Or is the
Um,
criteria different?
as it pertains to the criteria, yes.
In
It's
terms of the criteria, it's about the
it's
same.
basically the same thing. I think it's
Yeah.
the same. Yeah.
Okay. So for you, what's the most rewarding category of the criteria? I mean, what parts do you try to maximize your points on?
I like reharmonization a lot. And
Uh-huh.
motivic, motivic development and
Yeah.
reharmonization, I like a lot. Melodic development too, but
Yeah.
motivic development a lot.
That's
And
good. That's great.
reharmonization, yeah.
Yeah. So how does this year's victory compare to your previous seven?
This year, I could say that, in fact, when I put the arrangement down, before I started showing it to the people, or before I started emailing it to the various section leaders, I was thinking that I said, Marky, you know what? I think you shot yourself in the foot this year. This is so hard; they will not be able to play it.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I was honestly thinking that how will they execute that? But just like previous years, these young players, they rise to the challenge.
Yeah.
You know, many years ago, I stopped playing because I don't actually think I might be able to execute that myself. Maybe as a player, but not with the responsibility of, you have that weight on your mind of
Yeah.
everything going right and to learn the song and to be able to focus. So I think it was from 2008
Yeah.
I stopped playing Panorama with my band. I just decided to just go on the arranging and you want to call it conducting part.
Right. Right. Okay. So this year it was a tribute to Jaunty, right?
Yes, it was.
And so had you arranged any of Jaunty's tunes previously in
No,
past panoramas?
I hadn't.
Okay.
Actually, this year I had already started another song. I'm not going to say which song it is because I'm going to do it
Okay.
next year.
Okay.
I'm going to. So I had already started. I was just putting down the basic harmony, just trying to get a faithful representation of what the song will sound like
Yeah.
on pan. That's part of the criteria.
Yeah.
You have to give a faithful representation of what the song is supposed to be. I was just about to complete that when I heard that John T passed.
Yeah.
And his nephew is actually a member of our band.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and his nephew also works with the company that I work with, which is Lucian.
Yeah.
He works with a contractor. So I knew him in two
Yeah.
situations, if you want to call it that. And I decided, you know what? I told him I'm going to do your uncle's song as a tribute to him,
Yeah.
and I just put the other song aside and I started that one.
That's great. That's great. So you said in the interview this song was really challenging. What was so challenging about it?
I did say that. Did I say the arrangement was challenging or the song was challenging?
The song, I believe, yeah. I was listening to your interview after the
Maybe
performance.
I really meant the arrangement. Well, the
Okay,
song, what was challenging about that song to me, or what I felt had to be done? Jonty, if you look at all Jonty's performances, Jonty is never low key, he's always high energy.
definitely.
With the name, I'm somebody I like to go deep when I do stuff like that.
Yeah,
I researched the meaning of Jonty. I didn't know what it meant before.
yeah,
And it's self-confident, high energy, and I decided, this song has to be high energy and
right.
showcase the skill of the players. I think that's how you would have liked to see it.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
at the end of the day, I think the challenge was having the players execute the arrangement. So
yeah, yeah. And so the maximum allowable players was 85,
it's 85 now.
and you guys actually matched that on stage.
Yeah, it was 80, and I think from previous wins, we had more people becoming interested in joining the band,
Yeah.
particularly the parents of the younger kids.
Hmm.
And so we had like an influx of people. So we were up to about 90,
Wow.
between 90 and 95. So we put a proposal to the association to increase it to about 90,
Uh-huh.
and they said no. But they went as far as 85, so we just had to go with
Yeah.
it.
Wow.
And what happened? What happened? Fortunately, well, I don't know if you want to call it fortunately, but some players would have had to be dropped out because they were already invested in playing. They were learning the song. But some of our older players, for whatever reason, about 5 of them decided, they're not playing this year. So
Oh, wow.
everything worked out.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
What do you attribute this large numbers of players this year? Even not just your band, but some of the other bands had a big influx of players.
It's just a matter of, I guess, reaching out. I know some of the bands are going into the schools, into the
Yeah.
secondary schools, and they getting players from there. So they get involved in whatever program that the secondary schools have.
Uh-huh.
And we haven't done that to any large extent because most of the players in the band also have another job.
Yeah.
So during that time, it's difficult. Myself included, the band manager included, and all the other key players
Yeah.
have other jobs. So it's a little difficult to reach out. But they came to us.
Right. Right.
They came to us, which was
Yeah, yeah.
good.
You guys are champions, so
Yeah, yeah,
That's-
this.
yeah, yeah. So, but does that say anything about the growing interest in Pan among St. Lucian's youth?
Yes, I will say that, and I think it has to do with the parents too,
Hmm.
because a lot of parents now, because the kids that join, they would be like 13, 12, 13, and now parents have realized the positive impact of music
Yes,
on even on the academics
absolutely.
of the kids. So I think they're pushing towards that. I don't want to say that the kids don't have a choice because when they come in, they enjoy. They
Yes,
enjoy they enjoy the process. And I really enjoyed, I must say I really enjoyed the participation of the parents of those kids that joined our band. They would
right,
stick around, come around, and that's a very good thing. It's less work for us to do
right.
because
Yeah,
the parents are there and everybody, is a stakeholder. So
right.
yeah.
Wow. And I noticed even the attendance, the public, those numbers are growing too in
Yes,
terms of
attendance.
attendance.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is a good thing. Um, that could, well, to be honest with you, I don't pay attention to much of what's
Yeah,
going on apart from Panorama, but I suspect
yeah.
it has to do with the before I know we used to have clashing of the Panorama event with some fets in St. Lucia,
Yes, that's
and
right.
that used to take away. But I believe that the panorama has been kept separate. They try to keep the dates separate. So before, a
Right.
couple years ago, people wouldn't come to panorama because they had to go to what they call it, sexy in black or
Yeah.
color me. I remember these days.
Yeah.
So I think that has not been happening. So I
Well,
think
that's
that's a
good.
good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And this year they initiated a schools panorama, which I'm sure
A junior panorama.
the junior
There was also
panorama.
there
Yeah.
was also schools panorama, yes, I think. But there was a junior panorama too. Yeah.
Okay. That's good. So are you happy with the TNT panorama model, or um, is there some other St. Lucian, some other aspect that might improve the St. Lucia
Okay,
panorama?
you're talking about the criteria?
The criterion, yes, the whole presentation.
The, you know, when I look at before I really got deep into arranging, and I let you know I'm not just a pan arranger. I arrange different
Oh yes, I know.
yeah, yeah. So when you look at any good text or any good information on arranging, when you look at all the elements of a good arrangement, it's actually captured in the criteria.
Good.
You go and listen to a good big band arrangement where they might have one or two variations of a tune or even a symphony.
Yeah.
It's model. I think the criteria came directly out of that.
Hmm.
Like variations, motivic development, and when you listen to guys like Beethoven and all of them, motivic development is there. So I think it's a good model.
Yeah.
Um, if there were anything I would change, what would it be? Let me see if I can think of anything. Well, there is one thing that's different, but then that's something that is just indigenous to Pan, and it's about the engine room. You
Yeah.
want to hear steel, you want to hear your percussion, because that's who we are.
Yes.
Rhythm is our thing. So I think it's okay.
It's a good model. Okay.
I think the model is okay. If I were to comment on anything, I'd have to look at it again and look at how the points are distributed in terms
Yeah.
of what level of the weighting in terms of the points for the different elements. I may have a couple of thoughts there, but largely I don't have a problem.
I see. So in terms of the pan movement in St. Lucia, how do you nurture the interest beyond the carnival and panorama festivities? What happens after panorama?
Right now, nothing is happening, but I know the association this year, they want to do a Creole, like a Creole. I'm not sure whether it's a Creole festival or it's a Creole competition. There
Nice.
was a meeting yesterday that I did not attend because, as you know, I was at a funeral,
Yes.
right? So,
Yeah.
so I did not attend that meeting, but in fact, they want me to help out in terms of the criteria, whether it should be the same as the panorama criteria or whether it should be different. I tend to believe that it should be a little different because it's a
Yeah.
Creole thing. So, we have to look at things like the elements of the Creole music
Yeah.
has to be taken into account in the criteria. That's just me thinking from the top of my head, but I haven't looked at it yet. But I think that's a good thing that they did
Yes.
that. And what I would like to see, and I'm sure we're going to move towards it at one point, could be a Christmas thing too.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a lot of good local Christmas songs that
Yes.
let the fans sides take it and see what they can do with it. So
Yes.
that's the kind of thoughts I'm thinking.
To incorporate some of those indigenous St. Lucian rhythms.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's great. That's great.
So it won't just be, like panorama based on a Trinidadian model to say
Right.
we have kind of indigenous.
Excellent. Excellent. So St. Lucia has a thriving tourist industry. It's one of
Mhm.
the major destinations for travelers all over the world. How can the Pan community position itself to take advantage of this bonanza?
Good question. Right now, what we do, we just perform at hotel. Okay. You just thinking about it. One of our major events is the Grozile Street Party.
Yes.
And as you're speaking to me, there, I'm just thinking. maybe one of the things we could do, even if it's once a month, have a different pan side set up, because that's a place where a lot of tourists converge on a
Absolutely.
on a Friday night. So, that, and maybe we can have some kind of talks with the Ministry of the Creative Industries people.
Yeah.
But the most immediate thing to me, the most where you could get the most results right now, seem to be the Grozile thing.
Yeah.
Give them tunes, let different fan sites set up there and play some music for the people.
Yeah. Of course,
Outside of,
you have
uh-huh,
pan time right up the street there.
exactly,
It's a matter of promoting, I mean, you could be
exactly.
inviting other pan sites to come, you
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
yeah.
I think that would be a great idea.
Mhm.
Yeah. So how active is the St. Lucia Pan Association right now? What kinds of complimentary programs do they produce annually?
We don't have anything. Um, Most times, what would happen, the activities seem to be based around the promotion of Panorama.
Yeah.
Okay, it seems to go on, but this year, like I just mentioned, it looked like we want to do other things. That's why the,
Yes.
the PO thing came up, and it has been a problem. It has been a problem, and various people have been talking about, is the association shouldn't just be about Panorama.
Yeah.
So discussions, I guess, are going to be held about doing things throughout the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. So how supportive is the Ministry of Culture in what the PAN organizations are trying to do?
Hmm. The Ministry of Culture, there is they actually have instruments, and every year I think they run programs for the kids.
Uh-huh.
They do that as part. Is it a summer program? I'm not sure, but I have helped out on one or two occasions to step in there when the guy who normally does it is not
Yeah.
available. He'd call me. So a lot over a couple of years ago, a few pan players came out of that program. There used to be a schools program where they put fans in the schools, but I don't think there was follow up. I think they just put the fans in there, and the management of the whole program was very wanting. So fans disappeared from the school and all kind of thing.
Oh man.
So, but what they have now that seems to be steady is they have a collection of fans at the cultural center in that area there, and kids come there. I think it's every year they come and they do a program.
Yeah.
I think they're going to start back in the schools. I
Okay.
think they're looking at that.
That's good. That's good. Do we have any pan builders or tuners in St. Lucia?
We have about four of them.
Who
Well,
build? Yes.
Ivan from Nosad. Skip, Gregory Manuel, Shining.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Shining still does it. We have,
Okay.
Wata.
No.
Okay, he used to play Diamond Steel. He was one of the best bass players, but I know he sings and he prepares. He does not do the final tuning.
Yeah.
So he sing and prepare, and either Ivan or Shining would tune.
Yeah.
But and there's a young guy who used to play Northstars. His name is Cheyenne.
I know
He
Cheyenne. Yes.
right. He started. I think he did a lot of work for Library, and he did some work for Fantastic too.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, and even Shining and Ivan, these guys are my age. These guys are moving on.
Yep.
Um, who's going to pick up the mantle?
That is the big question. We
Yeah.
have Shine. You see the thing about pantuning, as you know, pantuning it's like a vocation. It's not
Yeah.
anybody. It's not anybody that can just do that. I have tried to tune one or two notes, and my success rate is like about 10%.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a hard thing. It's
Yeah.
the skill, and then obviously, well, you can develop the skill with the right. If you are in a good apprenticeship kind of program, you
Yeah.
can develop the skill, but then you have to have the patience for that.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I'm happy that Cheyenne is relatively young,
Yeah.
that he started. But apart from that, I haven't seen anything. I know there was a program once that the ministry run, but unfortunately, the guy who had started the thing, he passed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's another discussion that has to be held.
Yeah. I mean, is there any consideration to maybe sending a couple of people to Trinidad to learn the craft?
I am sure that if a proposal is made, that would be supported by the ministry. I'm
Yeah.
like about 80% sure.
Yeah.
But then again, it's to identify the people who want to do it. I
Right.
don't know. Maybe when I retire, I might have to start. I don't know. I don't know. Somebody has to do it.
Yes, yes.
Otherwise we'll have to depend on Trinidad to choose one
Yeah,
note.
I know.
You know.
Wow. So I noticed the president of Pan Trinbago was present at the Panorama. Does
Mhm.
Pan Trinbago contribute in any way to the promotion of the art form in St. Lucia, or were they just making a token appearance?
They provide the trophies.
Ah,
They provide the
okay.
trophies. I am not sure whether it's just for the first two places or for the first three places, but I know at least for the first two places, I
Yeah,
think they provide the trophies, and mm, I'm sure they would give support if we want to come over there for any kind of technical, you know.
yeah,
I'm sure they going to give, because once I saw something circulating where some application form to go to University of Trinidad and Tobago where you can go and
right.
do music and stuff.
Exactly.
I don't know if you're going to give a scholarship, but
Yeah.
yeah, but I know for sure the trophies, and they provide the Trinidadian jerseys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's talk about the SAB. Uh, was some of the pan players spread outside the protective cover from the rain? I saw some water in the pants.
Yes, that happened. That happened to one of our players. I think I think it could have just been either a hole or something. I think everybody was covered.
Okay.
It was just a hole in the poor guy. He was a tenor bass player, and the thing was half filled with water. And this
Yeah,
guy,
I saw that.
watch out.
Okay.
But he played like nothing was wrong, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I saw the water. He wouldn't even brush the water out. I said, okay.
Yeah.
So, Allison, how old were you when you first started playing pan?
When I started playing pan, I was 13. That was in 78. I was 13. I started on cellos.
Uh-huh. With what
You know,
band?
it was it was a Babonneau band, but we were called Babonneau Superstars at the time.
Uh-huh.
That band, I think, was started when the Babonneau priest, got some pans, and they got some guys to. So that started in 1977, I think, and I
Uh-huh.
joined the following year when I came to live in Babonneau. You know, the guys who just, my cousin just said, hey, they're looking for people to play pan, and I said,
Yeah.
well, I'll go for the line.
Yeah.
My mother say, upaka ali peskut. And I started crying, and she said, okay, Ali, 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 Ali. And that was it. So
Yeah.
I went, and believe it or not, they just put the sticks in my hand, and I was just playing. It's like
Wow.
I was just, I guess I was just playing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Who was the musical director of the Babonneau Superstars at that time?
At the time, it's a guy. He passed now. He's passed now. His name is Alfred Julian. They used to call him
Uh-huh.
Crusher, but he used to be associated with Scrub.
Okay.
And I think one day he was passing and he heard the fellas in Babonneau practicing, no sense of direction, and he
Yeah.
said, you know what, he'll take over. And I think that's
Wow.
how he started.
Yeah.
That's how he started. Yeah.
Okay. Mhm. And how did you get into arranging?
Okay, so when I joined, I used to see Crusher come in. You know, he used to have a pitch pipe, and he used to be um putting things together. And I
Yeah.
always used to marvel a lot because I used to play cello, and this guy used to come out with the most beautiful cello parts.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. And I wanted to learn how to do it. He had this thing on the blackboard where this chart where the notes horizontally was the diatonic scale and vertically it was the chromatic
Yes.
scale. So you have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and going down you have C, C sharp, D, D sharp, etc. going down. So
Yeah.
I studied this thing and I started asking him questions like how was he putting the arrangements together. He
Yeah.
didn't give me much information, especially for the second pan parts where they were playing second voice, like to harmonize the voicing. I'd ask
Yeah.
him, but how you come up with that? And he told me, instinct, man, instinct. That's what he told me. That's exactly what he told me. And I
Wow.
told him, then I realized I could use the that same chart to harmonize if I skip a note. So if you play
Yeah.
C, you skip the D, you get the E, and if you C
Yeah.
minor, you skip the D and you play the E flat. And I was able to. I say, oh, that's that was it. And myself, there's a friend of mine. I don't know if you know him at all. His name is Zorro. He arranged for Can Beats this year, and the two of us, we were like brothers, because we were living together and everything.
Yeah.
And the two of us were experimenting all the time. And we did our first panorama. Crusher allowed us to do our first panorama in 1980, I think it was. We went in the banana shed to compete against Diamond Steel and Scrub, and we placed third.
Wow.
At that Crusher said, you guys can do it. I don't need to be there anymore. And that was it.
Yeah.
That's how I started.
Yeah. Wow. And so now when did the superstars morph into the current Courts Babonneau Steel
Okay,
Orchestra?
okay. Sometimes they always tell you good things don't last forever.
Yeah.
Once you deal in a group, sometimes differing opinions and attitudes and stuff.
Yes.
So the band broke up at some point, and I was at university doing electrical engineering at the time. And the band fragmented into various little bands in the community. So when I came back from studying in 1999, Panorama was happening.
Yeah.
But I always had a good rapport with everybody,
Yeah.
all bands. So I told them, guys, we could come together as a community and go and give these guys trouble in Castries, because
Yeah.
and that's how we started. So it was still Babonneau Superstars when we went. I still call it Babonneau Superstars.
Yeah.
And then after a while, people saying they should drop the superstars and a whole set of politics. And we got
Yeah.
we got sponsorship from Courts in 2000, and I decided to call the band Courts Babonneau Steel Orchestra. I dropped the superstars part. A
Okay.
whole set of politics.
Yeah. Yeah. So next question about your music education.
Mhm.
Um, so obviously you have a good sense of music theory and all that. So how did you develop that?
Okay. I started learning to read music when I was 15 years old. 15.
Uh-huh.
I was attending St. Mary's at the time, and there was this guy who was some of these guys, their parents sent them to learn piano, and I
Yeah.
noticed he was reading music, and I asked him to teach me how to read music, and he started teaching me. But in 89, I could have already done something, but I think I was writing bad musical grammar, if you want to call
Yeah.
it that.
Okay.
I always call it that. So I attended the School of Music in I think it was about 1988.
Yeah.
So I met Harry Smith. He's passed away now, but he's a guy he's an English guy, and he taught me how to write properly, so you could see the division of the bar line, etc. He taught
Yes.
me how to write properly. And but there was stuff that I was doing already that I didn't even know other people were doing. Like I could watch a piece of music and just sight sing it. I didn't know that was a thing,
Yeah.
you know. So I didn't know that was a thing. So when he wrote some stuff on the board and I sang it out, and he turned and said, "You could do that." I say, "Yes," and then he told me. Then I know people. I got to know people like Luther Fosso could have done it,
Yes. Yeah.
right? And now I know that Gregory Piper can do it. You know. But
Yeah.
anyway, so that was that. Learning to read music was the fundamental, obviously.
Yeah.
And then there I met Harry, and I started taking classes with him. Where I did grade 5. I did grade 2, grade 5. Then I skipped everything else. I went to do this diploma with Trinity College. They call it what do you call it? I cannot remember. AMUSTCL. It means musical theory and critical listening or something. But you
Yeah.
had to study classical pieces and give your comments and learn how to write
Okay.
chorals and all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I had that, and I had a jazz thing going on from 1985. I started playing.
Right.
I met Augustine Duplessis. He introduced me to a lot of
Yeah.
jazz. So I had heavy jazz influence and a heavy classical influence. So I think, and I used to be listening to a lot of jazz,
Yeah.
especially when I was in Trinidad, because I was always coward. I would not go to Lime in Trinidad. I'm there to do my engineering degree. So when everybody went off to Lime on a Friday night, I'd have my
Yeah.
Walkman in my ears whole night just listening to jazz. So I think that instilled in me good musical sensibilities in terms of what a good melody is, a strong
Yeah.
melody, and listening to a lot of classical music. And I think I have a very well developed ear. I don't have perfect pitch, but I have
Yeah.
a very well developed relative pitch.
Relative
So
pitch.
I
Yeah.
can listen to something and analyze it one time and say, oh, okay, he did that, he did that, he did that. And I guess it's just taught somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's it.
That's excellent. So now some of your other music projects outside of the Panorama arena. As a soloist, I know you perform with Luther and you've created your own Caribbean jazz workshop group.
Mhm.
Tell us
Mhm.
a little bit about that. Some
Okay,
of your ventures out there.
Lupa has been a great, great influence on me. Um, Even from the first person I saw using a computer to arrange music was Lucia to put music
Yeah.
down. That was the time when they had what they call the Atari. That's early
Yeah.
Apple.
Oh
You,
wow.
you remember the Atari?
Oh yes. That goes back a little before
Yeah,
Nintendo.
yeah, exactly. So he was doing that. I didn't have one, but when I started, so that was there. I knew the value of putting your stuff down on the computer. You could print out your music. So when I started doing music with Harry, he told me about Finale. That was
Ah
in
yeah.
early 2000, maybe 2004. So I started using Finale from that time, right?
Yeah.
So that's that. And then Lufa was into big band.
Yeah.
He was a contributor to the West Indies jazz band.
Yes.
So I got interested in doing big band arranging, and that's where it started. I got all the books and voicing, how you voice for the horns, the ranges of the horns, and all this kind of
Yeah.
thing. So I'm very much into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
In fact, I just bought uh, uh, about 2 books. Yeah, I said after Panorama, I have to go back into that. And I
Yeah.
bought an orchestration book, classical, because
Yeah.
there's so much to learn still.
Really.
So that's where I'm at. I am just Panorama is just a thing for me. Like it's just like you get a chance to output what you study to a certain extent,
Yes.
but I just do Panorama because Panorama is there to be done. But my
Yeah.
main focus is, becoming a very good big band arranger, maybe symphonic,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. That's what I'm interested
Nice. Very nice. Very nice.
in.
And of course, you've done so many performances at St. Lucia Jazz with your eclectic
Yeah, yeah,
group.
eclectic.
How you like working with that?
It's great,
How's it different from the panorama scene?
the well, the time to learn is much less because with pan, most other people still learn by rote.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, the section leaders, fortunately nowadays, I can send them the music and I have some bright people. You just give them the music. And by the time you walk into the panya, these people playing the melodies, you're hearing the thing already. That's good.
Yeah.
But before it was worse, because
Uh-huh.
I had to actually go and show everybody. Now I'm hardly doing that anymore. But with the other configurations, like where you have your horns and stuff like that, the guys have the music.
Yeah.
Most of the guys are my friends from the police, but they could read.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of when I send the music to them, it's just a matter of, some of them still have challenges because everybody claims that my rhythms are always strange.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of coming in there and making sure that the dynamics are fine, the rhythms, everybody, articulations, which I
Yeah.
am learning about, I must say, like articulations on the horns. We have discourse on this kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it's about articulation, dynamics, and interpretation,
Yeah. Yeah.
basically. So it's a little less strenuous.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just as rewarding as, like hearing the fan side play the arrangement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just rewarding.
Excellent. So I know for years, I don't know if you still do the latex scene, or is it sandals now?
No,
And
it stopped it a while. It used
oh,
to be
okay.
in the pizza restaurant, like
Okay.
on top. Yeah, I used to be doing something, but that stopped quite a few years ago. So, but now
Yeah.
Coach Babonneau plays there every other Monday.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
And I know
so
Shining was doing a solo thing as well as Shaq. I mean, Big Doe, my buddy
you
Big
are still
Doe.
because
Yeah, Big Doe. Those are my buddies.
yes, okay.
Yeah, so I
I
was just wondering what opportunities there were for solo pan players, outside of the panorama scene.
Yeah, you get called, people have called me for weddings and stuff, but what I do, because of my day job,
Yeah,
I like to pass it on to the younger guys. I would say, oh, this guy is good, or that guy. I won't
yeah,
send somebody that's not, I tell them this guy is good, that guy is good. They can go ahead. But there are a lot of opportunities.
yeah.
You have some guys. I think I have a friend who plays at Jade Mountain.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
So
Wow.
and there is Shazi now. I don't know if you heard of
Yeah, Shazzy's
Shazi.
all over the internet.
Exactly. So yeah, he played it for this year actually.
I saw him. I
Yeah,
saw him playing. Yeah.
I mean, he started. That's where he really started. He started, of course, about.
Okay.
I mean, I'm talking about like big time performance.
Yeah,
His father has a band called All Stars. So it's a small group. He
yeah,
started playing there, in the hotels and thing. And then when he was like
yeah,
about 9, he played it for 2 years and 3 or 4 years, and then he kind of pulled out. But this year he was the ambassador, I think, some ambassador for Carnival. So I think he had to show that he was part of a group or something. So he joined.
yeah,
We welcomed him because,
yeah,
he's our
yeah.
old man. And he enjoyed himself and we enjoyed him too. So it was nice.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw him doing
Yeah.
himself up. So, any big performances on your schedule this summer or beyond? Are you working on any project?
Uh, Nothing yet. The only thing I have in mind, I always dreamt of coupling Courts Babonneau with the Royal St. Lucia Police Band.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it would be a nice thing if we could put together maybe a Christmas concert or something.
Yeah,
I think I may have mentioned it because I have a lot of friends in the police band.
yeah,
Some of the guys are my good friends, so and they are in key positions now, so
yeah.
I think it might be easy to pull off. But it's
Very
something
good.
yeah.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite voice in the steel pan orchestra? I know you play some doubles. Are those double seconds or double tenors?
That's double tenors.
Double tenors.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But I like second pan.
Yeah.
I like second pan. I think well, my style of arranging, sometimes I have the second pans picking in the line with the tenors.
Uh-huh. Playing, you
Uh,
mean
they play
octaves
the,
or
they play the same line with
okay.
the tenor.
Okay.
And sometimes they might be playing what the middle section is playing just for some projection. Sometimes
Yeah.
they strum. Sometimes they play in second voice. I think it's the most, I call it the Jamet pan.
I like your analogy.
Because it's doing if you understand what I'm saying, it's
Yes,
doing
yeah.
that's my style. So
It's
maybe I'm
versatile.
maybe I'm the Jamet arranger. I don't know. But I guess maybe that's another way. That's my own local palace of saying versatile.
I know. I like that. I like your analogies.
Yeah, because a time they play their own thing, a time they play what the tenors playing, a time they playing what the
Yeah,
seconds playing, a time if the whole band is playing a line, they're there, and
yeah.
sometimes they're strumming. So I like
Uh,
that. Yeah, and I think
yeah,
it's one of the most distinct voices in the in the um in the band.
yeah,
Something I don't know if it's because of the way the notes, the combination. Each pan has a whole tone scale. So
yes,
when you play the notes in this, it has this kind of floaty kind of quality to it because it's like the whole tone scale. So
yeah,
when you hit one note, it's very distinct. You know.
yeah. So who actually built your pans? Was that
Oh, my own double tenor.
your own dose? Yeah.
Yeah, it was built by Bertie.
Bertie Marshall. Oh wow.
It was built by Bertie. Um,
So is that the Bertie Marshall pattern or is it the Ellie Manette pattern?
which one is the Bertie? My E flat is on the right.
Okay, so that's
The
yeah,
modern one, the E flat is on the left. Now my pan is strange, and I cannot really play any other double tenor as a solo instrument. I could if I
yeah,
learn a song, like
yeah,
when I
yeah,
go on Babonneau, if there's a double tenor, it doesn't matter which one, whether it's on the left or the right, I'll play it. But
yeah,
as a pan soloist, I
yeah.
couldn't play the one with the E flat on the left. Now
Okay.
my double tenor has the low F sharp on the left and the high F or the mid and high F sharp on the right.
Wow.
That's how
Sounds
it
like
is.
Bertie Marshall.
That's Bertie.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Because with Ellie Manette, both the all the octaves are in one side.
Which makes sense,
Yes. Yeah.
but I just yeah.
Yeah. And who keeps your pans tuned?
Okay, so I used to go to Trinidad every so often, like maybe because my pants don't go out of tune because I don't play hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so my pants wouldn't go out of tune. But when I do go to Trinidad, I would have gone there and Bertie would have tuned the pan, but he passed away.
Yeah.
He passed away. And one day, Guppy came to tune for us one year. I think it was 2008, Guppy came. And I left my pants in the shed because nobody else would have tuned my pan.
Right.
But I left my pants in the shed. And when I walked in, there Guppy was tuning my pan. And I was like, oh my God. But, but you know what? After Guppy tuned the pan, the whole sound just opened up.
Yeah.
And then he started tuning my pan, and now he's gone.
He passed.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so since he passed now, we have Mario Joseph tuning for us.
Ah.
He tuned my pans once, but he was at DC. I'm never fussy because my pans are not out of tune. So
Yeah.
if it ain't broke, don't try to
Don't
fix
fix
it.
it.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's it.
Yeah. So I'm sure you listen to other pan players. Do you have can you give me
Hey,
about 5 pan players that you listen to that you're impressed by?
okay, my absolute favorite pan player is Bugsy.
Okay.
Absolute favorite. Followed by Robbie.
Wow.
Okay. And the other guy I like is a guy called Haffers. That is Anis Hadid.
Oh yeah.
He played on the big band CD that Lufa, the guys from Martinique.
Oh
You don't have
yes.
you have a copy of that CD?
No, I don't, but I knew of that project. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There's a thing that they did called Concerto for Pan. I think
Wow.
Lufa did one movement and you had two other French guys doing the other two movements. Let me tell you, this guy was brilliant in
Yeah.
on that thing. So these are the guys. Um, I never really listened to the others. I'm sure if I think hard enough, there might be one or two that I find way
Yeah.
interesting. There's a guy called Provost.
Victor Provost.
Victor. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yeah. I think he's into the jazz genre. You have called the
Absolutely.
language.
Yeah.
And there was somebody else that I heard recently. I never heard of that person before, and that person was playing bebop 101. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
That was like it's almost like a keyboard. They just decided to take a fan and play all the keyboard lines on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Boogs is my number one.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
reason why, and the narrative is not bad in my books either, I
Yeah.
must say. The two people that I like, what I like about Boogsy is that when he plays, if he's just ad-libbing on the pan without probably necessarily playing, or if he's just playing rubato kind of on the pan, you'd hear it's almost like a complete orchestra playing.
Yeah.
And that's something I cannot do.
Yeah.
So when I play, I think like a horn player. But
Yeah.
when Boogsy is playing, it's almost like a piano. You know that kind of thing? Andy Narell has that thing too.
Yeah.
So that's my view.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever
Sorry,
connect?
I couldn't come up with five.
That's good. That's good. I'll take that. I'll take that. But I know you know Andy's in library. Have you ever connected with him?
Yeah, I went to see him there once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he recommended a book that I got that book. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah.
I performed with Andy in Martinique. Lufa had put me on that gig quite a few years ago, and we attended a show. There was a group called Six Sun. They almost weather reportish kind of style.
Yeah.
We sat together. He's a nice guy. Um,
Yeah.
but we don't. I mean, he's doing his thing. I think,
Yeah.
and he's busy, but I think
Yeah.
he's just busy, but he's doing all this. You know,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I'm not. Maybe if I was doing music full time, maybe I would have linked a little more. But then, I have a 8 to 4 job that is taking some
Yeah.
of my energy right now. So
Yes. Okay. Well, Allison, man, I so enjoyed this interview. Is there any other topic that we didn't touch on that you would like to share with our audience?
uh, maybe in a different forum. I think we need to have more discourse in terms of a range. I would like to, what I would like to do, and probably I might do that if I might start with my own aspiring arrangers in my band,
Uh-huh.
need to impart some information in terms of the arranging process, how to make an arrangement that's coherent,
Yeah.
discussion of form. Because sometimes you hear pan arrangements and you don't get the form, the thread where you could follow
Yes.
the thing that, I just feel that we can do better in terms of that.
Hmm.
So I think I'll start at home with my own young arrangers and
Yeah.
start from there and see if I just feel I have a contribution to make in that area.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Listen, man, thank you so much for agreeing to come on the podcast and giving us some insight into your journey as a pannist. And I wish you continued creative success in the future.
Thank you so much. I enjoy I think that's one of the most relaxing interviews that I've had. So thanks for that.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, man.
Sure.
Okay. We'll talk
Take
soon.
care. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye-bye. The Pan Players podcast is brought to you courtesy of Carcasa Pan Emporium, where you'll find pan products you never knew you needed. Check them out at carcasa.com and get a free Pan Players podcast keychain with your next purchase. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And turn on the notification bell so you know when we release the next video. Until then, Kute Cheo.